Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Dzata Halwany Hasbul Wafy. I'm from English Education, Semarang State University. Today I will discuss about a movie. The title is Perempuan Berkalung Sorban.
Siapa kamu? Kenapa dulu kamu bilang gitu aja sih?
Umur kita jauh berbeda, Nisa. Bapak kamu mana mungkin mau sama aku yang bukan anak kiai, Nis.
Nisa mau kuliah, bukan Nisa.
Nisa, kita itu beruntung kalau bisa berkeluarga dengan mereka.
Pesantren bapakmu udah bisa sebesar sekarang tanpa bantuan aku. Nah ya.
Islam gak adil sama perempuan.
Perempuan sudah mendapatkan surganya tanpa harus berpendapat.
Kodrat bahwa perempuan harus terus berlindung di ketiak suami.
Uskuti! Kalau sampai orang tua santri tahu kiainya punya anak seperti ini, siapa yang mau nitipkan anaknya di pesantren ini lagi?
Surga menurut janji Allah ada di bawah telapak kaki kita.
Perempuan Berkalung Sorban was a controversial movie because of many things, and I will explain about it in this video. So, have you watched it? And if you hadn't watched it, I will tell you about the story, about the movie in a bit. Okay. Perempuan Berkalung Sorban is a romantic drama movie with the theme of Islam from Indonesia, which was released in 2009 and directed by Hanum Bramantyo. This movie stars is Revalina Estemat, Joshua Pandelaki, Nasha Abigail, Widyawati, Oka Antara, Reza Rahardian, and Ida Leman. Perempuan Berkalung Sorban is a movie that tells about the life of a girl named Anissa, who is a daughter of a leader of boarding school in East Java. She grows up to be a smart, critical, and brave girl, but all the advantages that she had were not too important to her father just because, she was a woman. Her father, who is a leader of boarding school, and maybe we called it with Pak Kiai, argues that women should be educated to be someone who has good character, attitude, and manners, while Anissa is someone who is intelligent and wants to know many things. She was forbidden by her father to learn horse riding, even continuing her education to college. Nisa has never agreed with the rules that limit women, as if women don't have the right to freely choose what to become. Until finally her desire to study was not fulfilled by her parents. She was married off by a man named Shamsuddin, who is the son of her father's friend, who is also a leader of the boarding school. With the marriage of Nisa and Shamsuddin, Anissa's father's boarding school has grown rapidly, but Anissa's life was even more chaotic after she married. She couldn't do what she wanted, including continuing college. She also had to accept to be combined because it turned out that Shamsuddin was married for the second time and his second wife was pregnant. Anissa cannot fight because it is said in Islam that men can practice polygamy with a maximum of four wives. Finally, after a while, Anissa held back her hatred for her own life. Hudori, the boy that Anissa loved, came back from Cairo after he finished his education there. Anissa is angry with Hudori, who has left her until she is now living with a husband that she doesn't love. Until finally Anissa and Hudori meet in a hut and try to find a way out so they can get married. But Anissa is pessimistic about Hodori's plan because her father will definitely not agree. Anissa then opened her headscarf and asked Hodori to kiss her, so that her father was angry and forced to marry them. But Hodori didn't want to do that because he want to marry he want to marry Anissa with marry Anissa in a good way without sinning. But after they agreed to solve the problem of Anissa with Shamsuddin, they were caught in the act of being together until they were dragged out and considered committing adultery. They were beaten by the whole people of boarding school for their actions. After that accident, Anissa went to Jogja to start a new life and continued her postponed desire to study at Jogja. And her husband was, mm, and Anissa with her husband is was divorced. In Jogja, Anissa was reunited with Hudori and married with Hudori. After that, Anissa returned to the boarding school and tried to change the boarding school to provide a more comfortable place for female students to develop their creativity. It turned out that this was not an easy thing. The books that Anissa gave to students were burned because they were considered to drive women wild. Long story short, all the people in the boarding school realized that women also deserve to see the world as wide as possible through books, and they also have the right to be whatever they want. In this movie, Hudori is the only person who can correctly interpret the position of women and how women should be treated. Only Hudori understands what Anissa is thinking. Hudori really supports Anissa to help students realize their desire not to be stupid and backward women. Hudori also treats Anissa very well. He never forces her to do what she doesn't want to do. Hudori also often helps Anissa in terms of taking care of household needs such as cooking, washing clothes, cleaning the house, and so on. He also never forces Anissa to have sex if she doesn't want to. According to Hidori, such things are also a woman's right. A woman may refuse if she doesn't want to do it. And then I will explain why this film was a controversial movie. Uh, this movie was a controversial movie of many things. There are because this film is considered controversial by many people, especially Muslims, because it is considered incompatible with Islamic teachings, in which Islam is the first to privilege women. In history, it is also recorded that before Islam was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, the Arabs often killed female babies by burying them alive. They consider that girls have no function and that having girls is a disgrace to them. But in Islam, women are creatures that must be glorified and guarded. There is no history that women should not be smart, let alone a career. We have an example of the Prophet Muhammad's wife. Uh, Her name is Khadijah, who was a successful businesswoman. And Rasul never prohibited Khadijah from continuing his business after Khadijah entered Islam. And regarding polygamy, men are allowed to do polygamy, but Islam provides a very tough condition, namely to be fair. Have to be fair. Being fair is not an easy statement for anyone. The permissibility for polygamy doesn't necessarily mean that men have the opportunity to have more than one wife, because in the verse it is written that polygamy is allowed, but men are advised to have only one wife. In the scene where Anissa is angry because she feels that she can't do what she likes, she says, Allah is only fair to men. In that scene, as a woman, I teach the emotion that Anissa feels. We can say like, we are angry when we are angry. But I think that Anissa should not feel so much anger, because indeed Allah is not only fair to men. Allah created women to be respected and guarded. The second cause of controversy is the scene when Anissa and Hudori are together and they almost commit adultery. This scene is considered not in accordance with Islamic teachings, which don't allow a man and a woman who are not mahram to be together. But in my opinion, this scene should not be a problem, because after that scene, a scene appeared where they were punished by being stoned, and it shows Islamic law applies in this movie. Then, how about my opinion about this movie? Actually, I personally really like this movie, because by watching this movie, I become more excited to be a smart and tough woman. Anissa's character in this movie is like to Kartini in the uh, boarding school world, but I found many things that don't fit in the description of the attitude of the boarding school towards women. I'm a woman who lives in a boarding school for 19 years, actually. I have been living in a boarding school since I was a baby, but I have never encountered such acts of discrimination. What I see is that women still have the same learning rights as men. We can read any books, including literary books. We can do what we like, and boarding school provides facilities such as music, reading books, writing, exercising, and so on. Although we do have to maintain ourselves so as not to cause negative things such as playing music within music, exercising while still wearing loose clothing, and so on. While activities like learning to cook and sewing are optional, we are not obliged to learn them while we don't like them. And there is a scene when Anissa wins the election to become class president, but her victory is tolerated because she is a woman, so that her male friend become the class leader. I have had organizational experience in Islamic boarding school. At the time, my friend also had the opportunity to become a leader, even though my friend was side by side with my male friend, so that they become the leader of the organization together. I also know many women who come from boarding school or pesantren to continue their education as high as possible and wherever they want while they can take care of themselves. I also have never met my teacher in Islamic boarding school who are polygamous, because men who really understand the verse about polygamy will be very hard to practice polygamy instead of making this verse the basis for them to practice polygamy. In my opinion, this movie is a form of misinterpretation of the view of Islam towards women, especially from the perspective of Islamic boarding school. In Islam, women are taught to be polite, but that doesn't mean being someone who only takes care of household needs. As for our boarding school, we are taught to be good wives and are advised to marry young, but that doesn't mean it is a must. Women can still choose what they want. In Islam, Allah has leveled the position of humans regardless of gender. As for when we discuss justice, fairness in Islam doesn't mean equal, but fair is putting something in its place. Women in Women in Islam are creatures that must be respected and guarded. There is even a hadith which states that heaven is at the sole of the mother's feet. It shows that how great a woman is in Islam. Then, to become heaven, women must be great human beings. Okay, maybe that's enough for me. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sorry if I had a mistake. Thank you and see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.